Hi, everybody, and welcome to Wine Wednesday. Today's topic is one that I've had on my mind to do, and so today we're going to tackle the subject of sulfites in wine. The question of sulfites in wine is a tough one as a wine guy, because when I'm in the shop, that question comes up a lot. And the problem with the question from customers and people is that most people have already made up their mind on it. You know, they don't come to that topic with an open mind. They've already made up their mind about it. And I just want to remind you that I am not a doctor. I'm not an MD. So as Joe Friday on the TV show Dragnet would say, just the facts, ma'am, just the facts. So I've referenced a lot of places in order to get this information. It's things that I've known, but I wanted to refresh my mind to make sure that I hadn't made the story up. And so here we go. First of all, what are sulfites? Sulfites are sulfur dioxide. Sulfur dioxide has been around since the Romans. The Romans needed, they didn't have refrigeration back then, so they needed things to stabilize their wine and preserve their wine so it wouldn't turn to vinegar. So sulfur dioxide is nothing new. This isn't something that DuPont modern chemistry has come up with in the last 50 years. So thinking about that it is a preservative, the corollary to this is if you are drinking wines or buying wines that say no sulfites added or no added sulfites, you need to drink that wine relatively quickly. This is not a wine that you can put away or wait till next year to drink, because without the sulfites in it, it's no different than 2,000 years ago. It can flip on you and go bad. So this is truly a buy it, bring it home and drink it kind of wine. So let's go over a few misconceptions about wine. First of all, and these are all questions that come up in the wine shop. And that all the time. I'm now at Paulie's Wine and Spirits in Paulie's Island, and it's we have a wonderful selection there. But the questions are the same that I've been getting in my restaurant career when I was in North Myrtle Beach in the wine business, and now at Paulie's. It's the same questions. One that comes up is that European wines are better for you than American wines. With my affinity for California wines, this one gets a little bit under my skin. The European Union and Italy and France, and they're all part of that. They establish an upper limit on sulfites to 210 parts per million. The upper limit in the United States is 350 parts per million. So that in itself makes it sound like European wines are better for you with regard to sulfites. But this is an upper limit, okay, covering all wines. I can assure you that great winemakers, good winemakers out in California, Washington, Oregon, are always going to add as little sulfites as they possibly can. So that one's basically not true. Misconception number 2, organic wines are sulfite free. They are not. Sulfites naturally occur on grapes, and in winemaking, they just naturally occur. So an organic wine that says no sulfites added on it still can be up to 40 parts per million. Okay, so they're not sulfite free. That does not occur. And 2, organic grapes and organic wine are not the same thing, okay? They are not the same thing. One is grapes being grown organically, and the other is making wines organically. They are not the same. Remember, no sulfites added means drink it soon, all right? Number 3, red wine has more sulfites than white wine. Nope, not true. Red wines have tannins in them, which is a natural preservative. So they don't need as much sulfites. So white wines have more sulfites than red wines. And I'm sorry for all you sweet wine drinkers, but dry wines have significantly less sulfites than dry wines. So remember that sweet wines have more sulfites than dry wines. And a quick note, because this is one of the great misconceptions in wine. What is dry? What does dry mean? Dry is purely about how much sugar is in the wine. The chemical formula for making wine is sugar plus yeast equals alcohol and carbon dioxide. If the yeast munches up all the sugar, you have a dry wine. If the yeast does not munch up all the sugar, then you will have some sugar left over, which will create a sweeter wine. So dry just means no sugar. There's no other, that's all it means, no sugar, okay? And to end this discussion on sulfites, let's just list a few foods that have more sulfites in them than wine. And this list might surprise some of you. Soda, candy, prepared soups, frozen juice. Oh, here's a healthy one, dried fruit. And oh no, on these last two, potato chips and French fries. Yeah, so I guess what I'm saying here is if you think you're having problems with sulfites in wine and you can eat these things without any trouble, then it's not the sulfites. Could be the alcohol, could be the tannins, could be who knows what all it could be. And just remember, if you drink too much, it's always going to give you a headache. Anyway, folks, I hope you've enjoyed this little discussion. My wine for the week is Oberon Cabernet. This is from Napa County. It's made by the Michael Mondavi family. This is one of my go-to Cabernets. It's around $20. It's a good, solid wine, day in, day out. Highly recommend it. It also will be on special at Paulie's Wine and Spirits this coming month in February. But I hope you've had a good week. I look forward to seeing you next Wednesday. Cheers.